All right. So speaking of exciting, so I'm there, and it felt like, Howie, the trade up from 15 to 13 to get Jordan Davis, and then the A.J. Brown trade with the 18th overall pick. In my mind, that all happened in like 5-10 minutes. I know it was probably longer than that, but it felt like 5-10 minutes. How does that happen? Like, when did you start to lay the groundwork, and when did you have a pretty good idea that that was going to happen?
Well, to the credit of the Titans and J-Rob, John Robinson, a tremendous general manager of the Tennessee Titans, our trade with them was done. But at the same time, we weren't gonna make a trade with a first round pick and have a guy who had 1 year left on his deal. So we had to do an extension. Torrey Dandy, AJ's agent, we've done a lot of deals with. Obviously, Jimmy Sexton, long time relationship with him. So we just had to do it, but it wasn't done. So we're kind of dealing with the fact that we have 2 picks, and we had to make sure that first pick was right, because really that's the anchor. That's the anchor, like that first pick in the draft. And shoot, I'm not so sure Jordan Davis can handle an anchor. Like, we had the Penn relays this week. I'm not so sure. Man, that guy's a freak. So we had to do that, and then at the same time, like, we don't have the deal done, and so got to go and try to finish that deal, because you want to be fair to John Robinson. Like, it's kind of like, am I picking 18th? Am I, what's going on here? And at the same time, Philly, Ross, it. And just imagine that, like, we can't get a deal with AJ, and all of a sudden 3 days later it's reported like we can't get a deal. We had AJ Brown and we couldn't get him. Woo, boy, that wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be good. So, there weren't many people who knew about this. And so a part of it was like, we also wanted to have a competitive advantage of no one knowing what we were trying to do in the first round. So nobody trade up in front of us and get one of the players. If we had a receiver, that probably changes the approach for teams of our first pick. And, same thing with J-Rob. J-Rob wanted to make sure he got what he wanted. So we were like, we're going to not tell anyone, except obviously, Jeffrey knows, Nick knows. And then when we're on the clock at 18, we're just going to announce this trade, and then it's going to come out after that. So what was cool about it is we did the deal. I think we were done with the deal, either pick 14 or 15. And then, like, still the people in our draft room didn't know what was going on. And then we brought everyone in, we're on the clock at 18, and I'm sure people had favorites who were going to pick there, and basically said, hey, we traded the pick. And, I think people were a little disappointed we traded the pick. And I was like, and we got AJ Brown. Here we go.
So that's interesting. So you had the trade parameters worked out with the Titans, but you were literally on the clock with A.J. Brown's agent, because if you don't get him signed to a contract or agreed to by the 18th pick, you wouldn't have done the trade. So that's got to be about as intensive a negotiations, because usually you have time for any kind of contract negotiation. You're talking like a span of minutes deadline to get a big contract done.
Now, we are dealing with it the whole day. So it wasn't like that was we're starting it when the draft starts. We're dealing with it. But yeah, we had work to do, and credit to everyone involved.